Oh my gosh, people are loving Jesus. They are loving Jesus. Come on in the,
When I
in
go to
the name of Jesus. Oh my gosh, people are loving Jesus. Let's go talk to this guy down here. We already talked to this guy. Jesus says, "Are you saved?" Yes. What's up, bro? How you doing?
how you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I love Jesus.
Me too.
How long have you been serving Jesus? King Jesus.
Since 2005. So what? 19 years?
19. Whoa, that's interesting. So I think I've been serving Jesus for 19 years.
That's good.
Because I would say 2003, maybe, or 4. 5. Yeah, maybe it's the same. 2005. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
So, but you don't look like you were born around that time. So you had a pre-Jesus life.
I did.
Tell me about that a little bit, brother.
I was an atheist for about 15 years.
Interesting. Yeah,
I was in the church, grew up Lutheran, but no one ever explained anything beyond being a good Christian to me.
Interesting.
So, a few other things happened in my life, and church to me represented everything that I didn't like in life and everything that rejected me in life. So I said, if everything in life rejects me, I reject it, and I'm an atheist. And then I went on to college. I became an agnostic in college because, of all things, a teacher who was teaching me evolution taught me that you can't really be an atheist and open-minded. I was like, there is no God. He's like, prove it.
Now you said something interesting to me, and I can't remember exactly how you said it. I don't want to paraphrase, but you said there was something like you looked at religion or church, and you were like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've spoken with a lot of atheists and former atheists, and they'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
So when did you realize the difference between church and religion, and then King Jesus?
It was a long, slow, drawn-out process that took years. It took years. Little things came to me every now and then. Started out with this crazy neighbor that I had that was a Christian trying to get me saved. And the first time he tried to get me saved, it didn't work. The second time he tried to throw all my sin in my face, like great comfort. And I'm like, what's sin? I'm an atheist. What's sin? And then the third time that he planted the actual seed in me is when he came up to me and just started telling me stories about Jesus and asking me about things in my life and things I admire. And he goes, well, this is what Jesus does. And I go, well, I admire a man who stands true and stands up for his word, and, whatever. And he's like, well, let me tell you what Jesus did. Let me tell you about these other people in the Bible. And then around the same time, HBO had this cartoon. I was watching a cartoon on Elijah, and I got into it. I got into it when he was, tormenting when he was taunting the prophets of Baal. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Cool. So God admires people. I like that. And it was just little things like that along the way. So finally, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, taught me about relationship. I tell her stuff like, well, I have to get this sin out of my life before I can get saved. She goes, no, get saved, give it to Jesus. I go, but then I have to quit. She goes, no, give it to God. He'll take it. And I'm like, okay. So then one day I was walking around on Hollywood Boulevard and I realized I was saved.
Coming from that atheist background, do you remember the kind of life and the kind of thoughts that you had compared to the kind of life that you have now?
Oh yeah. Because when I was an atheist, it was all about me. It was all on me. And
say that again. Say that again.
It was all about me. It was all on me.
And what do you mean by that? Because that's right on, brother. What do you mean by that?
I mean, when you're an atheist, basically, when you're an atheist, you automatically adopt the philosophy of existentialism, which basically, you go, I came here, I was stardust, I came here, I evolved here, I was born here. There's no meaning to life. I just here by random. So whatever meaning there is, I have to make it. I'm the captain of my ship. I have to look out for me. Everyone else is out to get me. And I have to claw my way to the top. Survival of the fittest. And so, yeah, your failures and your successes are ultimately on you. And I'll tell you what, it's exhausting. And it wears you down. And it depresses you. Because every failure is on you. You know?
We have any guitar players on the corner?
And
Guitar players? Anyone?
yeah, so I mean, and that's the thing. It's like eventually, just atheism just wore me down, and it's like there's got to be a better way. You know, and that's around the time I met my girlfriend, or became my wife, and you know, it's like, well, what's this Jesus about? And I saw the Passion of the Christ around that time, and yeah, it was just a very slow, drawn-out process. But God was winning me over one step at a time, knowing how He can get me. You know?
If there was one thing that you could tell somebody who is like on the fence, teetering back and forth between that unbelief, disbelief, and then ready to give their life to Jesus, like what would you say to that person?
I think I would quote my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law led, you know, his uncle to the Lord. And his uncle came back to him and said, the only thing I ever regretted about giving my life to Jesus is that I didn't do it sooner. And that's the thing I'd say, you know what? You got nothing to lose. Today is the day. He's calling out for you. You know, and if you're not today, well, he's going to call out for you tomorrow, but do it today. Why waste another second?
You got nothing to lose but your soul for eternity, right?
Exactly.
The only a little thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Jesus is the King, isn't He?
Yeah, He is.
He is the truth, the way, and the life, brother.
But fear of hell is one of the things that turned me off to the Lord. I never thought about hell when I got saved. It was more about just wanting to know who Jesus is, and you know, it didn't. The whole hell thing didn't. I mean, I know it exists, I know it's real, but for some reason, that didn't work on me.
You know, Jesus talks about hell more than heaven.
I know He does.
And many people don't know that, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, and if I say if, but we know, if we are to listen to King Jesus, it's interesting that He talked more about where He don't want us to go than where He knows we can go through Him.
Exactly.
And only through Him.
And only through Him. And that was the thing. That was the other thing I remember about that. My wife taught me about salvation. Is that you got to put your faith in Him, and after that, He takes you. You know, it's because of what He did. It's not because of what you can do or can get whatever out of your life. Just give it to Him and let Him do it.
The real King. What's your name, dude?
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Dan,
nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you, brother. I really appreciate you. Yeah. And I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
come on. Where's the honk set? God is so good. Kevin, I'm encouraged by you, and you've just encouraged a lot of people today. Kevin is the man. Come on, fam, in the name of Jesus.